Hey folks, welcome back to the channel and welcome along to another video. In this one today, it's a short impressions review, I guess, of our Ford Kuga. So I guess first of all, the reason I'm creating this video is that I think a lot of the time, not everyone buys a brand new car, and a lot of the time when buying a used car, people look to YouTube or the web for reviews of that car. And you typically find reviews of the new models quite easily. So if you search just now for a Kuga review, it's April 2021, you're going to find mostly reviews of the latest model, which is the Mark III, the third generation of Kuga. But what I've done here is we've got, the car I'm driving just now is a 2019 Ford Kuga that we got brand new 2 years ago now, almost exactly 2 years ago. And I think realistically people are looking at buying cars like this and looking for thoughts from people now, rather than looking for a review by someone who has driven the car for a couple of hours or a couple of days, maybe a week, to give their impressions of it. We've owned this car for 2 years now, and it goes back, so this is a leased car, and it goes back tomorrow. The lease company are coming to pick it up tomorrow. It's the end of the 2 year agreement. And I just thought I would take some time to record a short video review and let you know what my thoughts of it are. And I'll add some footage in as well, showing you around about the car, what it looks like for storage space, and from an exterior and interior point of view, the things that we like and maybe don't like about the car. So I guess to kind of kick things off, this is a 2019 model. It's a 19 plate. Ford Kuga ST-Line, and it has the 1.5 Ecoboost engine, and it's the one with 150 brake horsepower. I think there's 3 variants of the 1.5 Ecoboost. One's got about 120, one's got 150, and I think they do one with 180 brake horsepower. So this one is the ST-Line Ecoboost 1.5 with 150 brake horsepower. It's a 4-cylinder engine, and our model has a manual gearbox that I'm driving at the moment. And as I record this video, the car's done 10,100 miles in the 2 years that we've owned it. The mileage would have been slightly higher, but given the kind of situation that we're in, there hasn't been a lot of driving or commuting over the last year. So the mileage is a little bit lower than we expected to have at this point in time. So the reason we bought this car is we were a family of 4 when we bought the car, and we're now a family of 5, and we wanted the space in the car. So this car's got a good amount of space in the back, seats for children, good space in the front for adults, and it's got quite a large boot as well. The reason we went for the petrol Ecoboost engine rather than the diesel was because we do a lot of short trips. We've had diesel cars in the past where, diesel cars from 2009 onwards have a diesel particle filter that captures the soot that the engine generates in the exhaust, and then when you drive at longer durations or longer speeds, that soot gets burned off. And when you don't do those higher speeds or those longer trips, the car struggles to burn those off. Ultimately, you have some issues potentially doing short trips with the DPF, but we'll come back to that in a moment. That's the reason we went for this particular model. And I don't know if I regret that or not. It's been good because we've not had any DPF issues, but I don't think, my personal opinion is that this engine's not a good fit for this car. If you're driving around town, I've just left a town just now, we're about to go into a national speed limit and get the speed up. The car's fine, it's not uncapable. Just, given the cars that we've had before, I think it lacks a little bit of punch. And the fuel consumption is terrible. There's just no two ways about it. At the moment, the average for the tank, for this one, which I actually need to fill, so we've did 285 miles in this tank, and I've averaged 21.3 miles to the gallon. And that's not driving the car fast or spirited. And truth be told, we've not had the children in it very much because, obviously we've not been out very much at the moment. But yeah, the fuel consumption on this car with this engine is really, really poor. I can't speak to the tax value. I don't know what the tax for this car is. Because we lease the car, we don't pay the tax, you know, the vehicle exercise duty. So I don't know what the difference is between the petrol and diesel models for that, but that's neither here nor there. What this car really lacks is torque. When you pull away from junctions and roundabouts and stuff, that's where it's a little bit weak. And that's the biggest thing that I don't like about this car. I don't think that's a good engine for this one. The model we have gone for next time round is the 1.5 diesel. I think it's called an Ecoboost. So we have gone for another Kuga. This car gets picked up tomorrow, which is Thursday, and on Friday the next one gets delivered, which is another Kuga, the third generation one. And that's the 1.5 Ecoboost. And I'm interested to see how that plays out, because this car's 150 brake horsepower. The one that's coming to replace it is 120 brake horsepower. But I've got a feeling that with that a little bit more torque, it might be a little bit sharper getting away from junctions and stuff like that. So that was a negative I wanted to get out of the way of this car. There is another negative which we'll come to later. But the car itself, from an ownership perspective, we're really happy with it. We've had no mechanical issues with this car at all. It went in for one service when it was a year old, and I think that cost £190, which I don't think was too bad. You know, we've had a BMW in the past and it cost a little bit more. But yeah, £190 for the first service. We've had one puncture, an ailment through the tyre, so I had to replace a tyre. I can't remember how much that cost. I think that was £120 for, I think it was a Yokohama. It was a good tyre that we put on the car. So from an ownership perspective, we've had to make the monthly payments. We've paid one service and had to replace one tyre. And if we want to get very specific, I spent £6 on a touch-up stick, and I touched up 4 marks on the front of the car where the stones had chipped the paint a little bit there. So inside the car is, as I said before, is quite spacious. It's quite nice inside. In the back there is a pull-down armrest. I'm not sure if you can see it in the footage here, but there is an armrest you can pull down in the back there. So if there are 2 people sitting in the back, there's a good bit of legroom, I would say, for a couple of adults. And yeah, there's an armrest in the middle. At the front of the car, it comes with dual zone climate control. And it has, we quite like the AV system that's in the car, so the head unit. I think it's an 8-inch, I'll put in some footage of it, but I think it's an 8-inch screen that's on here. And this particular model comes with sat-nav, which we've actually never used the sat-nav that comes with the car itself. But it comes with sat-nav, and it supports Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now at the moment we both use Android devices, but we have both used Apple devices. And we've had other cars as well with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now Android Auto is very unreliable, but it's not unreliable with a OnePlus or a Google Pixel or what other phones we've had. We had a Huawei P30 Pro, had a Samsung S20 FE, and they were all unreliable with Android Auto. But it's not just this car, because we had another car that had Android Auto and it was very flaky in that as well. Apple CarPlay, however, on each of the Apple phones that we've had in both the cars worked absolutely flawlessly. So Android Auto is a little bit unreliable, but it's nothing to do with the Kuga. That's an Android Auto thing. Apple CarPlay in this car worked absolutely fantastic, and it sounded really good as well. We had a radio before in a Seat actually, where the Apple CarPlay audio quality wasn't so good, and this car is really good. Inside the car, other things we've got, there's a kind of heads-up display here that's customizable. You can get a digital speedometer, you can get information such as your miles to the gallon, your trip counter, all of that good stuff. Controls on the steering wheel for the radio and the menu in here. The 8-inch screen that we have here is touchscreen as well, so you can just touch it and swipe and navigate about. And there are some buttons that you can use to adjust the tuning, the volume, the source, if you're the kind of person that doesn't like touching the screen, because I know some people don't like the marks that you get there. It has an auto-dimming rear view mirror as standard. Everything that we've got in this car is what comes standard with the ST-Line. We didn't pay for any additional options. Not something I would do with a lease car, if I'm being honest. And the car comes with cruise control as well. which I'll be honest, I don't think we've ever used it in this car. We did use it in the Focus before this, but I don't think we've used the cruise control in this one yet. I think I mentioned it's digital climate control, dual zone, and then it's got parking sensors, both front and rear. There isn't a camera on the back of this car, just the actual sensors themselves. Heated front windscreen as well, which I think you get in all Fords now, maybe excluding the basic ones. And that's a car chiming at me because I need to fill it up again, because the fuel consumption's absolutely terrible. So inside the car, we really like it. I think the equipment it provides you is really good. Electric windows front and back. It's got heated and folding mirrors. Another thing I quite like with this car is everything's black. The seats are black. It's kind of half leather seats, which you can kind of see here. So kind of half leather Alcantara seat arrangement in the car. Door cars are black. The carpets are black. The mats are black. The door pillars are black. And the roof line is black as well as all these kind of little things. And that's something I really like. I really like a black interior in a car. I had a Passat before which had a beige interior, and it was absolutely terrible. It was a really, really good car, but the beige interior was terrible. It should really be illegal for anyone under 70 years old. But yeah, interior-wise, everything's all fine. From the exterior, obviously I'm not outside the car, so I'll patch in some footage that I've captured outside the car. Outside the car, it comes with the ST-Line body kit. It comes with 18-inch alloy wheels. Now the alloy wheels are diamond cut, which again is a preference of mine. I don't really like diamond cut wheels. I think one of the alloy wheels we've kept the car fairly clean. It's never been through a car wash. It's never been washed by anyone other than myself. And yeah, one of the wheels, the kind of lacquer on the diamond cut piece is starting to kind of crack and bust through. So at some point that's going to have to be, in essence with diamond cut wheels, they just shave a little bit of the wheel off and then re-lacquer it. So that's going to have to be done. That's the wheels. It came with Continental tyres, which we've had no issues with at all. They're even, they're wearing evenly. The grip and stuff in the car is absolutely fine. And the one that we had to replace, I'd mentioned before, was because we drove over a nail. Not a lot you can do about that, so that's all been fine. Looking at the back of the car, we've got dual exit exhausts, which is a nice touch. The car has got fog lights at the front. The front headlights are projectors, as you can see, but they're not LED or HID projectors. They're just normal halogen bulbs behind the projectors there. But the lighting of the car is fine. You can see the road ahead. I think if I was keeping the car long term, I might fit some LED bulbs in there, which is technically illegal because we don't have headlight washers, as you can see. But yeah, and I guess the complaint for the car on the outside, obviously we went for a white car this time. We didn't go for a white car the next time. We live in a building site and this car gets filthy every single day, so the next car's not white. The body kit catches a lot of dirt. I don't know if it's because it's got the ST-Line body kit or if it's just, you know, the way that the door shuts and stuff are in the car. But you know, we can wash this car and have it absolutely spotless. All the door jams round about the boot lid, hinges, all of that good stuff. And then the following day, the door jams and stuff like that, they're filthy again. The car seems to grip and hold on to dirt everywhere. Anywhere the bumper joins with the car, in the fuel flap, you know, the door jams, the car holds dirt absolutely everywhere. So cleaning it's always a chore. And I'm 5'9". To get to the roof of this car, I have to stand on a step to kind of get to this kind of middle bit, especially up in the middle of the roof here. But yeah, so the car's a challenge to keep clean. So this may be a little bit hard to believe, especially since it was snowing last week here in Scotland. The camera overheated and I lost a little bit of footage. So I'm going to just try and pick up on some things that I think I captured in that little bit of footage, and then we'll finish this video up. So the car has automatic lights. It has automatic wipers as well, which is quite nice. And I mentioned that the car has folding mirrors. That also happens when you lock the car. When you lock the car, the mirrors fold in automatically and they unfold when you unlock the car. And I guess also the mirrors have some puddle lights underneath them that when you unlock the car at night time, it kind of lights up underneath as well, which is quite nice. So I'm going to finish the video up there with a conclusion that, as I said before, we're really happy with this car. It's that, you know, it was really my wife's car than it was mine's. The car's actually perfectly good for our needs. I would buy another one. Well, we have bought another one. We do have another Kuga coming. But I don't know if I'd buy the same car again with the same engine that's in this one. I'd like to think that the DPFs within cars have advanced to a point now where they regen themselves a little bit better, and I'm hoping that's the case with the next one that we've bought. But yeah, I think the engine in this particular model of car is pretty poor. It lacks a lot of torque for pulling the weight away, especially when you've got 5 people in the car and some goods in the back. And yeah, the fuel consumption is really, really poor also. It's one of the worst things about it. Luckily, we don't do a lot of mileage. As I mentioned earlier on, we've did 10,000 in 2 years, so it's not a big deal. But if I was doing a lot of miles, I think I'd be pretty disappointed with that. So hopefully that's been helpful, and if you're looking at buying this sort of car, I think you would be very pleased with it. If you have any questions at all about it, please comment below. I'm sure I've missed something. And yeah, thanks for watching.